Hey guys, what's going on? Just checking in with my latest video blog. As this video is entitled, I've had a massive breakthrough with my mental health, which I'll talk about. But first things first, we'll talk about my sobriety, which is going awesome, which I expected it just to continue. So as of today, I've just passed the 90 days mark since the relapse, which is awesome. So it's always nice to, it's kind of weird when you relapse because you start the count from zero again. But I'm not really counting days, but I use this app on my phone, and anyway, yeah, as I say, I'm over 90 days now, which is awesome. Feeling fantastic with that. There's no pull towards drinking, which is awesome. So I'm really chuffed with that. That's pretty much all I've got to say on that. Things are really good. So what I kind of want to talk about is, because I'm buzzing about this. In my last video, which was 30 odd days ago, I was speaking about my sort of mental health and how the sort of arse end of my life, sorry, the arse end of my world just falls out overnight for no particular reason. Now, any of you who've followed this channel, I've seen my ups and downs, and there's always been a pattern to it, and it's, you know, I go from what I call being on it, and you know, the flames lit inside me and everything. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, and then for whatever reason it just crashes. I just crash. So over the years, you know, and this is not something, it's quite complicated to talk about. This is not, at one point I thought it was alcohol related when I was drinking, because this is something I've suffered with for a long time. I've had quite a lot of crashes. They don't last long, a week or two maximum, and then I'm right back there. So obviously there's lots of things it can be. Mild depression, possibly bipolar, probably other things. But anyway, in my last video, I wrongly spoke about trying to get some meds, and almost kind of go on antidepressants and see if that would sort of stop this from happening. But kind of as soon as I made that video, I got a few comments as well, so thank you for people who did that. I've never gone down the meds route in my life for anything. The kind of most I'll ever take is a couple of paracetamols if I get the odd headache. So I really don't want to be on magic pills, even short term. I really don't. So anyway, after that last video, I just started sort of looking at things, and for whatever reason, I started looking at a particular topic. Now, I've never spoken about this, I don't think, on any of my videos, but I have a, it's a disease, but I call it, I use the terminology of a condition. I have something what they call AS, which stands for Ankylosing Spondylitis. You get it when you're quite young, as in sort of early, well, around 20 years old, but it's a real strange condition because you don't actually know you've got it. You don't actually know what's going on inside you until it manifests itself through your bone structure. So basically, ankylosing spondylitis means that you suffer. It's in the arthritis and autoimmune department, and generally you get a lot of inflammation on certain joints. It's generally your spine, neck and shoulders, I believe, and this is when you don't know you've got it. Basically, we'll just talk about my spine. The gaps between my spine start to fuse together and grow new bone. With that can come tremendous pain. Now, I'm really lucky. I have had back pain in the past, but some AS sufferers really suffer with pain, as in they can't even get out of bed. So It's never really stopped me. As I say, it started when I was about 20, and I got it diagnosed when I was coming up to about 30, and I simply was on a first aid course at work, and we were doing CPR training, and I was the patient, so I had to lie down flat on the floor, and it was really noticeable that my head was, I don't know, 2 or 3 inches off the floor, because my back, normal person's back straight, mine arcs over, and all this area here, bringing it up to date now, my spine is, if that's my bottom, the first area of my spine is completely fused together, and this bit's not too bad, but then from just below my shoulders on my back all the way up to my neck is completely fused. And if I, just to sort of give you an example, if I stood as straight as I could against a flat wall with my heels touching the wall, so that's me in the walls there, my head, the distance between the back of my head and that wall, it's now about 12 inches, which is, you know, it's not good. So anyway, as I say, this is just something I've lived with. There's lots of things you're not supposed to do on it. Stay active. Well, they tell you to stay active, but you've got to be very, very careful of falling and stuff. I've never let it stop me. I played football all the way through it. I still continue to hike, run, mountain bike, and I've fallen on things quite a few times. I've fallen off my mountain bike and stuff, and you know, I've been fine. So I haven't let it stop me. But so that's what I have. Now, back in the day, going back 10, 15 years ago, the doctors didn't really know much about it. It's quite a rare condition. I can't remember what the stats are. It might be like something like 1 in a couple of thousand people have this particular. I mean, this is wrong, but it's a gene called something like KL50B or something, which means you're prone for AS. But the information I got back then, you know, I got a booklet and everything, but it didn't really tell us that much. But the biggest side effect of it, and this is not through medication, this is just about having AS, is fatigue. I always knew that, but I must admit, I didn't. When I think of the word fatigue, for me it just means a little bit, you know, sort of lackluster, and basically you can't be arsed. Now, that manifests itself for me in exercise, and if you go into the gym or whatever, you know, it can be a bit of a struggle, but I always knew it always is for anyone, you know. The hardest part of getting to the gym, the hardest part of working out of the gym is getting there. Once you're there, you're fine, and I was always the same. So for a long period of time, I just left AS alone. Oh, sorry, one thing I should say. The AS, for me, I've been discharged from the doctors, now the specialist, about 3-4 years ago. I used to have to have a yearly checkup. They basically said all the fusing's done now, because of the symptoms and how it worked for me. I've been told the inflammation and the flare-ups have just completely stopped, and the fusing's got as bad as it's gonna get, and it's not gonna get any worse. And that was the end of it. So back to now. So because of the mental health issues I've been having and not being able to understand it, just out of pure luck, I was on Facebook and I typed in Ankylosing Spondylitis, and lo and behold, there's quite a few Facebook groups. So I went to one of the biggest ones, joined it, and then I just started reading, you know, flicking through and reading what they had to say. And I started to read things that got very familiar about depression, severe fatigue, depression, and sort of ups and downs. And it was a little bit of a light bulb moment. A light bulb moment for me. So I started typing a few questions and posting on the group. So I thought I just started right at the beginning, and I basically said, does anyone out there almost have bipolar sort of symptoms of up and down emotionally? But I didn't, you know, I can't remember how I worded it, but I wanted to know, it was more of a long-term thing. It wasn't just if every couple of days you wake up in a bad mood. I mean, it's nothing like that. It's like going for, like, I don't know, 6-8 weeks and working really hard on yourself, doing all the right things and feeling really good and strong mentally. And then literally overnight it just stops, and it doesn't stop for a reason. So I typed all this in, and lo and behold, I started getting these replies from lots of people with AS suffering the same bloody thing. So I just carried on asking questions, and sort of obviously I had this big response from people, and I had to just start sort of swiping them off that weren't applicable to what I was asking, and I got down to a large number of people who, I wouldn't say exactly the same, but very, very similar. So I'm really happy about this. I really am so happy about this. This doesn't fix anything. It's still going to happen, but at last I have a reason why this has been happening to me. You know, I've been soul searching for a long time now. What is the matter with me? Was it alcoholism? Was it my diet? Was it my exercise? Was it my weight? And all these things. And sorry to say, but you know, feeling like a complete fuck up. And it's just like, what is going on? You know, depression. Have you got depression? So as I say, this new information I found, and since then I've dug deep and started looking at research papers from scientists and doctors and people like that, and it's all just backed up. AS now is very strongly related in certain cases to psychiatric disorders. I hope this is making sense why I'm upbeat about it. It's the fact is that I know what's been causing it now and what's going to cause it in the future. It's no magic pill that gets rid of it, and I'm absolutely fine with that, because when it happens, I can deal with it. But what's been happening in the past when it's happened, because I didn't know where it was coming from, I was driving myself mad thinking, what have I just done? What's happening in my life? What the hell is causing it? But if it's pretty much just attached to this back condition I've got, then I don't have to worry about that anymore. I just have to deal with it as it comes. And as I say, it's fairly easy to do. So I'm really bloody chuffed. I'm so chuffed. I've kind of researched out on it right now. My head's blanked. I've kind of learnt everything I needed to know. But I'm just so much more upbeat about it, because there is now a reason for it, that I can live with that now. So I hope all that made sense. So I'm really, really chuffed. Just on the meds thing, as I say, I went completely off that idea. It's not something I want to do. So I'm trying to do it. I'm not going to go into the things I do. Obviously, on my weight loss journey over a couple of years. This time round, I've gone down different routes, and I do what a normal person would class as very weird and bizarre things. As in, I do water fasts. I now do dry fasts. I do coffee enemas. And I change my diet around a lot to see what works for me. And I'm not just talking about weight loss, I'm talking about how I feel mentally. So as we stand right now, today, my original goal when I started, and sort of my goal weight, I'm actually 28 pounds under that goal weight now. Granted, the goal weight was quite high. It was a weight I felt comfortable with. But, you know, I smashed through that, as I say, and I'm now 28 pounds lighter than that. As I stand now, I'm actually only 14 pounds off my new goal weight, which is kind of the one that science tells us with my BMI and all that, what I should weigh. So I'm really chuffed. And I'm feeling great. I just did I use water fasting to. It does a factory reset to my body and mind, and I quite enjoy doing them, and I'm good at them. I can do it. It's not like you're suffering, and when I fast now, I get the benefits out of it straight away. So I've just come off quite a long fast a week ago, or longer now. Sorry, I did 6 days, I think 5 or 6 days, dry and water fasting, and that got me sort of back on track. But then, interestingly, I'm now just moved on to the ketogenic diet, which I'm trying, which is high fats, no carb, very low carbs, and I'm only really doing that to get my last bit of weight off. That's the plan, and then I'm just going to go on to a more balanced eating plan, and obviously I can have more to eat. I need to up my calories to then maintain that body weight, so I don't lose any more. But yeah, it's great. I've been I've been in keto now for the longest I think I've ever been in. I think probably been in keto for the last 10 to 14 days. I've got the keto strips that you wee on and tells me what level of ketosis I'm in, and I'm pretty much in the high range of ketosis every day now, which is awesome. So it's working. Kind of struggling a little bit with the ketogenic diet, with it being high fats and stuff. I mean, the food's amazing, you know, it's all very natural, healthy foods and stuff. But basically, I've got to switch my body over for the first time to not live or not fuel itself off of carbs, and me glycogen, I can't say that word, glycogen stores. So obviously the ketogenic diet, you burn out a lot off completely, and then you turn your whole system into a fat burning system. So your body gets energy from fat stores, and obviously your intake of fats through your food. So that's the only bit I'm not sure about now, if I'm actually a fat burner right now. It doesn't feel like I am. I know I'm high in ketosis, but as I say, it takes a bit of time for your body to transfer over to be a fat burner, and you've got to be careful you don't mix it up and throw extra carbs in there and stuff, because any time I throw carbs in higher than I should do, then my body will automatically go back to its default setting. So it's quite interesting, and we'll see how that goes. But I have felt a little bit ropey on it, but today I'm feeling good. I've had a lot of brain fog with it, but this morning I'm feeling really good. And as I say, my weight's awesome, and I'm not doing weights at the gym. I'm just doing sort of very light cardio, and I'm moving some weight. But it's interesting. It's more my size that's going down, and I'm feeling great. You know, I'm not doing weights or anything, but I feel pretty strong. Body fat's coming down, so I'm kind of hoping with everything I've just said that obviously I get the last bit of my excess weight off, which is awesome, and I'm getting, whether it's the nutrients or the minerals, whatever it is that I need to keep this working correctly, and just in the back of my head knowing that if I do these little crashes again, I now know why. So all in all, very positive video. Really chuffed. Things are good. Some bit of my life's really shit, but I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, this side of me is going really well. So I think that's pretty much all I've got to say. Thanks to everyone who commented on my last video. I didn't get back to you, but I read everything, and I agreed with you all completely. My mindset wasn't in the right place for the meds and things. It was just pointless. So thanks for watching, and I'll post an update in another month from now, and we'll see how that goes. Once again, if you've got any questions or you want any more information on what I'm doing or anything, just drop a message below, and I will get back to you this time, I promise. So enjoy your day, guys. Thanks for watching. Bye.